Welcome to another edition of the Glace Bay Hockey Files. This is an important edition because now the Glace Bay Bayplex has been renamed the Glace Bay Miners Forum. It's not the first time we've had a Miners Forum in Glace Bay. All of us have played in what was a barn, but it was our barn. On tonight's program, we've got Cecil McQueen, Rocky Ford, along with Barry Verbeski and the president of the Glace Bay Miner Hockey Association, James Edwards. One person who had an impact on hockey at the Miners Forum and how players approached the game was the late Leo Amadeo.
For myself, when I first started junior hockey, I had a pretty good shot at it. But the coach came to me one night and he said, "Cecil, you got a shot at making this team, but you got to get rid of them skates you got."
Squeaky ones.
Because every time I stopped, it'd be like a school teacher with her fingers on them. They went right through Leo Amadeo. So I didn't take long to get rid of them, just to make the team, to be with, like I always said, and the boys too, our second father, Leo Amadeo.
Yeah.
He was the man. I don't think we would have been the hockey players we were if we didn't have Leo Amadeo on the bench.
When I think of the 1960s, you think of Leo Amadeo.
Definitely.
You know, he brought all of the techniques that we never even dreamed about, Cecil?
Never heard of it.
Never heard of them before. He brought the skill package down from Quebec.
Yeah.
Okay? And before he coached the junior minors, pre-1964, he was playing coach with New Glasgow.
Right.
And I mean, he had a name for himself back then, you know? Tough, leadership, disciplinarian, a teacher. And we couldn't wait to get him down here, Cecil.
No, but he got paid big money. Turk Stewart gave him $50 a week, you know. So that was big money back then.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But I can remember when Leo came here before he ever played with the Glace Bay, came down here to coach. He played with the New Glasgow Rangers, as you mentioned. It was a big deal when he came to town to play.
Oh, absolutely.
Place was jammed. I think were they playing Glace Bay Miners? It was an exhibition game?
Probably, yeah,
It was
probably.
an exhibition game.
Yeah.
And the place was just jammed. And that's another thing when we talk about the Glace Bay Forum when we were kids, is that I can still think back to those days being stuck in a corner down here at the, I guess it would be I'm not sure what north or south end, whatever, but when Zamboni came up in the corner down there, my father and my two brothers, right, be jammed in here like this when the Moncton Hawks came to play here.
Excuse me, Dave. They had the barrels back then when you played.
Yeah, that's
There
right.
was no
Yeah.
Zambonis.
Yeah, no Zamboni, yeah. But anyway, when the good hockey players and the place to be jammed, those are things that'll live with me forever.
Yeah.
Probably you guys. I mean, the crowds and just the feeling of being in the arena.
Oh, just to be there, yeah.
It was the fans.
Fans.
The fans that packed this place full time. Like we mentioned earlier, you know, after the game, you'd remember that, you know, you'd be looking back in the rink and the cloud of blue smoke over it. And the place was, it was a gimme that when the juniors or the senior team were playing, the place was full. I remember Eddie Clemens' father out in the parking lot, directing traffic
Yeah.
and parking cars.
Yeah.
You know.
But what I remember about Leo Amadeo coming down, and I have to be honest, the majority of the young people, Cecil, we came to see him fight. He was an enforcer.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a big bear of a man, and he was mean. But he could play hockey, he could skate.
He was strong.
Oh,
Strong.
Physically overpowering.
yeah.
That's what I remember about
Mm-hmm.
him. Yeah.
And Dave, go ahead.
No, I was saying he
And,
was also a funny guy too.
Oh, funny guy, yes.
Yeah.
And I remember one game in the old Miners Forum. We were playing Sydney. Not blowing my horn because I didn't do anything, but I was going out to block a shot. And the place was packed, like you said. Bingo, I got it right in the forehead. Jesus. Our trainer come out, 80 Curry, he saved me. But anyway, I get up and I went to the bench. And Blair Joseph said to me, "You feeling all right?" I said, "I'm feeling all right, yeah." well, you better go to your own bench. So you didn't want to give up hockey no matter what you got hit with, you know. That McDonald from Sydney, Parker's brother or uncle,
Yeah.
I seen more lights in that farm than Sandy Wright have seen in my old miner's farm. He could hit too, Rocky.
Yeah, no.
When you think back to, besides the senior hockey and the junior hockey, you're right back to the start of it, and everyone, we all had to start somewhere in terms of playing the game. It was on the pond, right? The thing I always said was, if you didn't make the team at the St. Anthony's, you were playing on the pond. There was no A, B, and C, and D, and E, and F, and G, and whatever they played to. But now the kids get out
a lot of F's.
What?
Until Howard came along.
That's right, yeah. But anyway, what did it, when you think it meant to everybody? I think, personally, I think it was great for socially in Glace Bay. You got to know everybody. You played the guys you played common school against. It doesn't matter if you're from Caledonia, Bridgeport, New Aberdeen. You got them. I still meet guys today that the only reason I know them, I played common school against them.
Yeah,
You used to look at guys and say, gee, you look familiar. Where are you from? You know,
Yeah.
and next thing we talk to them. But Cecil?
Well, I'll tell you, Dave, like you're talking about, sports night was a big thing in Glace Bay. You're talking about meeting people. Well, you'd have two fellas or two girls, whatever, from each school that would make, you know, the team. So if you made that team, holy jumpings, you were a hero in Caledonia.
Yeah.
Didn't know where number 11 was at, you know. But to get down here and play with that group of guys, and you still remember them, you know. It was unbelievable, the sport night in Glace Bay. And you guys all remember.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure.
It was quite a night.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. Bobby McLean never got over it yet, matter of fact. I remember Joey Bates was refereeing one night, and George Pike. And I just happened to have 2 goals. And McLean, Bobby, shot one from the point. And I whacked the point with my stick. Put her up in the air. He thought he got the goal. Pancaked, George Chesson give me a hat trick. He never spoke to me for 2 years. And he arrested me after that, matter of fact. They're true stories, and that's what you don't forget, things like that, Dave.
There are many coaches who gave of their time and skills to help young players learn the game.
Harvey Calloway and men, Bob coached him in high school. They called him Howie Meeker.
Yeah. Ahead of his time.
Ahead of his time, exactly. He used to get the Morrison High School hockey players running up and down the hills of Douglas Avenue, and they were saying, what is going on here? And they were pulling muscles, but eventually they got into shape, and everything was smooth after that. But yeah, he was ahead of his time. They did breakout systems, puck control, power play, penalty killing. Just a tremendous visionary for us in the local area.
And another great coach. He wasn't good, he was great.
Yeah.
And no one really picked him out because he'd be only in 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock on Monday mornings was Robert McIsaac.
Yes.
He was showing us stuff then. Of course, I used to stay back and have a little practice with him. He used to show us stuff then that we're doing now.
Yeah.
Way ahead of himself.
Yeah, he was around long time.
He was and he never had the players that St. Anne's had, but he always was there.
Yeah.
He always made the team.
Then there was that Solomon fella. He wasn't too bad.
Yeah, no.
The story that I like to tell about the midget A team would have been, it was the first year when they started the midget team anyway, but there was Glace Bay and Sydney and Mercer Fuels Flames. Remember, they were an outlaw team. Mackie McIntosh coached them. So and they had Nelson Burton and Dana McQueen and Sheldon Hannon and Barkley they had a stacked team, but we had Dougie, and so the way it worked, and Blaze McDonald coached that team. You guys might remember Blaze.
Yeah.
And so it came down to the final series in Glace Bay against Mercer Fuels Flames. And it was a best of 5 series. So they won one, we won one. anyway, it came down to the fifth game, 2 o'clock in the afternoon in the Miners Forum. But in the fourth game of the series, Dougie got a collapsed lung. Dougie didn't play in the fifth game.
Right.
Packed house. I'm sure you guys were there. The whole town was there, and they beat us 7-0. That's what Dougie meant to that team.
Yes.
And it wasn't so very long after that he was gone to Three Rivers and Kitchener, and then 11 years in the NHL and a coaching career and broadcasting career too. So he's certainly a guy that you can't have a Glace Bay hockey conversation about without talking about Doug Sullivan,
Absolutely.
for sure.
Absolutely.
And I remember playing with the Oldlands Bay Boys. In the heat of the summer, Dougie Sullivan would have pit boots on, and he'd pedal a bike up South Street, down Brookside Street. He'd do the loops. And no wonder he had legs on him like
Tree trunks.
Tremendous
tree
shape.
trunks.
Tremendous
Exactly
shape.
it. Tremendous shape. And clean living.
Yes.
No cigarette smoking. Eat well. Sleep well.
And dedicated.
Oh, and dedicated is
I
right.
remember we used to make pucks for him in the shop. Steel pucks.
Really.
He'd be home shooting the steel pucks. Or we'd have a sponge ball or something, you know. That helped him a lot too.
Well, I mean, the proof's in the pudding, right?
Yes.
You did 11 years in the show.
Yeah.
How many guys can lay claim to that, right?
That's right, James.
No. And the other thing that the other impressive thing about Doug, and well, there's lots of impressive about Doug, but he coached in the NHL. His last coaching job in the NHL was with some guy named Gretzky.
For most hockey fans who attended games at the Miners Forum, especially in the heyday of senior and junior hockey, fans witnessed some great games, and they had their favorite players.
I got to go with Nash Batten. Hard working, in the corner. He did the work for the line, in my opinion, back then, you know. And Nash was my man, you know, still is. And, you know.
Rocky, I think we covered this already, but and tell me why. Who your favorite player was?
Ronnie Donovan.
Yeah.
It didn't matter if he had to be a goalie, a defenseman, forward. He was out there to play hockey. And block shots, well, we all know what he does for block shots.
Yeah, right on.
He took 30-some stitches one night because he was blocking the shot.
Yeah.
He was in for, he was on the ice to play the hockey game. He wasn't there to look good. He was just being good.
Barry?
Freddie Courtney.
Yeah.
He was electrifying, a superstar, ahead of his time. Leadership. He saved junior hockey in Cape Breton because he brought so many fans out to the rinks. And he'd drop his gloves too, if need be. And he often dropped his gloves to protect Vincey Ryan. And worth the price of admission if I had to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on.
A lot of us get in without paying. Yeah. James?
That's a tough question. It really is because, again, I've been coming to the Forum since I was a kid, and I remember Cecil and Rocky and Barry playing. I remember the 69-70 in Metros. I was 14 in 72 when Dave McLean was playing, and he's still right up there with me. And then we talked about Dougie, and Dougie was just a talent. He was in a league of his own.
When you played at the Miners Forum, it was more than just being involved in a game. It was a social experience where you played against players you will remember long after the games are over.
When I run into Daryl Moret now from Donkin, played with us a few years.
Us.
It's a pleasure to talk to Daryl Moret.
Sure.
You know, and I can name probably a dozen people like you're talking about. You see them today, your brother Eugene, you know, I walk sometime, he's in the yard, we'll talk about this or that, you know. It was a pleasure to play hockey for Glace Bay Miners, I'll tell you, in the old Forum.
How many Huff and Puffers played junior and played for the Miners, Cecil? Quite a few.
Yeah, there is.
Quite a few.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're still going.
Sure.
Yeah.
Rocky?
Well, everybody that you almost know, you know them from the forum.
Yeah.
Like, I could be in any condition, and someone come along to you and you'll say who you are. Yeah. Remember the time we played in the forum? No, I don't remember. But why do you remember? Because we had a great time.
That's right.
So I said, okay, but you know, walk away. I still don't know who that guy is,
Miners Form.
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter, right? He thought I was a good friend, and I had no reason not to be good to him. So
Miners Farm.
more than once.
Yeah.
Barry?
Well, periodically I had the honor of talking to Sandy Snow from Downton for quite a while, reminiscing about minor hockey and his days playing junior and professional hockey away. And Philip McDonald, when he's home periodically, great conversations not only with regard to hockey, but also with regard to ball. Tremendous ball player, long ball hitter like his father. But these are great guys. But even that, though, I look at some of the guys from St. Michael's, like Tommy and Danny Myrne, great athletes. And I don't know yet why they didn't play junior hockey. Both were academics, I know that. But then, of course, you have Lenny Doucette,
Right on.
a leader, a scrapper. He wore that C with pride. I played ball with him. Tremendous guy. Tremendous guy. So you meet all these guys periodically and you reminisce. And they're friends for a lifetime.
Yes.
No kidding.
Oh,
It's a real brotherhood.
it is. It is,
It really
James.
is when, you know, like I said earlier about wearing that M on your chest. You know, like Cecil and right down through the years, everybody who played with the miners, myself, we still play. You know, with the guys that I played junior with and the like, and same as the other fellas. It's always a pleasure to run into them and swap hockey stories or just swap laughs. But it's always friendly, and there's that camaraderie that comes with being a teammate.
We would like to thank Cecil McQueen, Rocky Ford, Barry Verbeski, and Glace Bay Minor Hockey Association President James Edwards for being involved in this program. The years in the original Glace Bay Miners Forum had some exciting times that fans would talk about, and the stories were passed down over generations. And now the new Miners Forum will have its own history that will be written for those in the future to enjoy. I'm Dave LeBlanc. We'll see you again next time on Glace Bay Hockey Files.